Men of Reddit, what are some "she's a 10 but" for you? She's a 10 but she won't stop buying everything ever. 2 girlfriends ago I had a girl who was 100% on the path to homelessness. She'd impulse buy every stupid ducking thing and only eat out and only at expensive places. Her accounts were always zero or close to zero, and I had no idea how she wasn't already out on her ass once I found out about it. When I first met her I thought he had a rich dad or something, but no, it was just her immediately spending every cent she made. I loved her anyway though, so eventually she moved in with me. She was still a dumbass with money, but for the most part she didn't ask me for any. One day I came home and we suddenly had a dog. A lab mix. Something there's no way she can afford. She paid $2,000 for him on credit, not to mention the pile of food, toys, and other stuff she got. She's so far in the hole at this point I already know I'm going to be taking care of the dog once she gets bored. I tried to explain to her that a dog costs more than a car over the course of its life with vet bills and food, and she wouldn't have any of it. Live in the moment and all that. At this point she was starting to beg me for money pretty constantly. We need a new TV. We need more potted plants. We needed everything. Every week some new $200+ purchase. Then she needed a new $35,000 car and wanted me to help pay for it, monthly and down payment. The car was the end. She wouldn't let it go and we got in a million fights over me not helping her. It's an investment, I'll save so much gas. Bitch, your current paid off car gets 20 miles per gallon, this gets 29, and your commute is 10 minutes. The lease was expiring on my rental soon anyway, so I used it as an excuse to get out of the relationship and move back home. She ended up not wanting our dog, so I took him with me. He's a good boy. It's not his fault he had a stupid mom. When she thinks you're arguing every time you try to voice an issue that needs resolved. And she shuts you down, effectively ruining mature conversation and therefore being in a state of perpetual disagreement or lack of proper efficient communication. The obvious one is having a great personality and looks, but just not being interesting in the same things as you. Objectively a 10, just not your 10. She's a 10, but she's off her meds. She's a 10, but she threw a butcher knife at her mom. She's a 10, but I just had to call 911 to save her again. She's a 10, but she just got fired again. Her personal hygiene is bad. Hottest girl I ever had sex with was like this. I'm like Jesus talk about falling at the last hurdle. She's a 10 but she still talks about her ex. Is never in the wrong. Constantly refers to how empathetic she is, but never shows it. Prefers to hang with the boys, is never at fault. Always plays the victim. She's a 10, but she's always leaving me for other guys even though I saved her from her abusive dad, taught Elvis how to dance, went to Vietnam, became a ping pong champion, helped write Imagine by John Lennon, and I started a multi-million-dollar shrimp industry. What more do you want, Jenny? She's a 10 but chooses to talk about important things right before you go to bed and have to be up early in the morning. She cries when you try to discuss things that are going on in the relationship. She is mean to wait staff or retail workers or anyone really. Discloses mental health issue within first 20 minutes of meeting or talking. She's a 10 but everything she buys is beige and is unironically into live laugh love modern farmhouse decor. My buddy and I play a lot of RimWorld, and a popular meme between the two of us is this: she's a 10 but. And then list the porn's worst quality. She's a 10, but she's a pyromaniac. She's a 10, but she's always having a mental break. She's a 10, but she won't use guns. When they are suffering from a painful psychological condition that makes everyday life for them a struggle. I hope they are doing well, wherever they are. She is a 10 but she is dumb. Don't get me wrong, there are millions of guys that would be content with a dumb bimbo, not me. I would rather have somebody that is less attractive but more engaging. I'm not in the dating pool, but I have a friend who is, and here are some of his responses which have allegedly all happened to him. She's a 10 but she tried to convince me to buy $500 worth of Isagenix that she couldn't sell and got really frustrated when I used regular all-protein powder. I couldn't see a square inch of her bathroom countertop. I couldn't tell if she had carpet or hardwood as her bedroom floor. She got her 7-year-old to call me dad when I came over. We were dating for 2 weeks. She's a 10 but her personality is trash. She's shallow, superficial and self-centered. Personality can take a 10 to 4 faster than Elon Musk is sinking Twitter. She's a 10 but friend-zoned me. She's a 10 but she's isn't heterosexual. She's a 10 but she's has chlamydia. She's got mental health issues that completely change her identity every 12 months. Please come back from your communist or kawaii phase. I miss you. My friends and I play this game where we say, she's perfect, but... and then list the most ridiculous flaws and decide if we could tolerate them. Some of my favorites have been, she will only watch Cars 2. Whenever you're talking, she lets out a soft, non-sexual moan until you finish talking. She doesn't walk. She physically can walk, but she uses a wheelchair by choice. Those were 3 that stuck with me because they might seem small, but I really couldn't handle them. If she's a 10 but she smokes, vapes or does drugs, she's immediately a 0. Most other things I can deal with, but that kind of thing is an absolute deal breaker. But she's into astrology. By into I mean she thinks it's possible that astrology is, even to a tiny degree, real. I just can't. Might as well still believe in Santa Claus. She's a 10, but she's a racist, a narcissist, a control freak, judgmental, a giant gossip, condescending, a xenophobe. Fake nails. I don't mind plastic surgery, tattoos, piercings or whatever. They can all be great. But if it is just for the looks, these things make me run away. She's a 10 but puts the full rubbish bag outside the front door instead of doing 6 extra steps to place it in the bin. She is a 10 but I think she makes porn contents. I'm not bullshitting. She's a 10 but she has mean personality. She's a 10 but she's a radical. Keyword, feminist. She's a 10 but she had a hoe face. She's a 10 but still talking to her ex. She's a 10 but she thinks crystals have magical powers and believes in astrology. She's a 10, but she won't put up with me playing PS5 all night instead of coming to bed. I would say she's a 10, but she's vegan, but vegans always look so sickly that they are never above a 3. She's a 10 but she's into drugs, alcohol, cigs. She's comfortable being naked around others and about to start an OnlyFans. Yeah, she's not a 10 but hey, she looks really cute, is really fun, and kind. I'm the kind of pure and innocent guy, so yeah, FML. She was a 10 but she instantly treated me like a god, which sounds nice, but it killed the mystery and I passed. I still show friends pics of her because it was the strangest thing that such a beautiful woman acted thirsty for me. She's a 10 but she ignores how you feel about the particular guy friend, his gay, his not gay. Focus on yourself, kings. She's a 10 but she smokes. She's a 10 but she goes clubbing every night. She's a 10 but everything that comes out of her mouth is negative. Honestly, being overly entitled. Instant 0 for me. Like the world owes you something, duck. The rest of us have to work hard for what we want and you expect it handed to you, by bitch. She's a 10 but she posts lip-synced selfie videos on TikTok or Instagram that use a song lyric or movie or TV show quote out of context to match some manufactured situation in the caption. That is the new lowest form of comedy. To call it comedy is a stretch. Astrology. Loose approach to casual sex. Combining them two, ducking men of every zodiac sign in a week as a challenge. I dodged a bullet. When they look like a perfect 10, actually are super high maintenance, and in my experience the better they look the grosser they are, as in they are pretty ducking dirty. And not in bed either. I dated a 10 but she only wanted to do what the celebrities were doing or fashion, etc. She have life FOMO of not being famous. So sad. She's a 10 but she hates feminists. I really don't mind if she isn't into feminism, or if she feels indifferent about it. But when women feel the need to tone police feminists or actively declares hatred towards them, I automatically start doubting about her empathy. A lot of feminists feel scared or enraged because of violence against women. When another woman starts trashing on them, I kinda think that if I ever feel sad, angry or scared because of some valid reason, she might try to rationalize the situation without trying to even listening to what I'm saying or trying to understand what I'm feeling. A woman bashing on feminists, to me, is a telltale sign that she really can't put herself on other people's shoes, regardless of how similar their situation might be. She's a woman that used to be an escort but now she's older and wants a family and honestly forget about the past and have a normal life.